Yeah, and if you want to be a winning organization, I think that starts from the top. And I think, this is a good transition point to talk about something that happened late last week, early this week. Rashod Bateman, Rashod Bateman and Eric DeCosta. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, this is what he said after he quoted Sarah Ellison, and Sarah Ellison's tweet says, "Eric DeCosta on problems with drafting wide receivers. If I had an answer, that would probably mean I would have some better receivers. We're gonna keep swinging." Rashod Bateman quotes this tweet, and he says, "How about you play to your player's strength and stop pointing the finger at us in number 8? Blame the one you let do this. We take heat 24/7 and keep us healthy. Care about us and see what happen. Ain't no promises, though. Tired of y'all lying and capping on players for no reason." Basically, Rashod Bateman is tired of the disrespect that the Baltimore Ravens receivers get, not only from just the perspective of, hey, they aren't playing well, but in terms of they aren't being given any help. They've been given a terrible strength and conditioning coach in Steve Saunders. This tweet happened right after he was fired.
Yeah.
They've been given a terrible offensive coordinator for wide receivers in Greg Roman, and they constantly receive the blame. And and I don't know if this is necessarily Eric DeCosta's fault for him saying like we would have better receivers or whatever, because he has consistently been asked, I think it's more the media, in just, hey, are you drafting another wide receiver this year? Your receivers aren't playing very well. Like that is asked in every single press conference.
Yeah.
Every single time they are asked, what are you doing about the wide receiver position? Hey, could you go after a guy like DeAndre Hopkins? Could you go after a guy like Kenny Galladay? It was a few years ago. It was our first ever
Marvin
YouTube video
Jones.
was Corey Davis.
Yeah.
That was the first ever YouTube video we ever made. Corey Davis. I think the title was Corey Davis should not become. Don't sign Corey Davis. Like that would be a terrible signing. Looking back on it, pretty good video. But they always just push these narratives of the Ravens need it. And I think the Ravens do need wide receivers, but they haven't been given help. Joshua, what do you make of this whole situation with Bateman and Eric DeCosta and all of this?
I mean, honestly, everybody wants to attack Rashod Bateman. Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. Everybody loves to attack players that finally speak up, for the room. Honestly, I even saw people on Twitter, try to attack Hollywood for saying something, even though he's moved on from another team. He was literally in the organization. He saw what was going on. He only got demonized because he was the only one willing to speak up for that wide receiver room at that moment in time where nobody else was. Hell, even Dez Bryant, Willie Snead, when he finally left, spoke on, the wide receiver room, how things operated. It's like you can't get mad at someone that's actually in the situation. And they finally decide to speak up. Like we can't keep on doing that. I mean, that's like if someone was a victim to any type of hurt or some type of crazy situation, you can't get mad at them for finally speaking up about the situation that traumatized them for many of years. They was scared. They were scared. You don't know what the situation was like. So, to see these athletes finally speak up about certain things, I'm not mad at it. The bad thing is they constantly get demonized and their critiques always get like put to the side, like, oh, just shut up and dribble, or just shut up and catch the ball. No, these guys are human just like you and I. They put their pants on, hopefully the same way I do, hopefully the same way McConnell do, hopefully the same way, the female athletes put their pants on the same way the other females out here in this world do. But but respect goes a long way. Respect that these players are finally speaking up about, some of their harsh treatment. I do understand, I can understand the frustration. Hell, just being a fan and seeing some of the moves that have been made for years of the wide receiver room, and it has not been a real upgrade. You're talking to a fan that's seen Derek Mason, that's seen Lee Evans, Jerry Macklin, who else? Oh my gosh, Mike Wallace, The list goes Marlon Brown, Rashod Bateman, and Torrey Smith, and out of the Anquan Bolden, Jacoby Jones. I maybe saw a little bit of Jermaine Lewis when I was younger, but out of these names that I called, these guys, it's maybe about 3 out of the 10 that's had a decent career. Hell, I don't believe we drafted Brandon Stokely, but Brandon Stokely had a better year,
I
had better
think we
career,
did. I think we did drop Brandon Stokely.
but he ended up having a better career with Peyton Manning. um, so but I do give EDC his credit and respect because he is willing to go out there and attack the draft to bring in wide receivers into this organization. Have they all hit? No, that's going to happen. That's a part of the game. It's all about taking a risk every now and then. We just haven't been we haven't rolled the best of dice when it comes to some of the wide receivers we have picked.
Yeah, we gotta remember that these guys are players, and we gotta remember that this is also a business. And so every boss is not going to say, I screwed up. I should no matter what Eric DeCosta says, he's putting someone at fault. He's not saying there's no way that he can answer any question that says, hey, the wide receivers that you haven't been playing well. There's nothing he can say that sounds good, right? He can say, yeah, we drafted the right guys. They're just not putting up numbers. So then that's the system. Well, he hired the coach.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? We're looking to add. Why? Because your receivers aren't good enough? That's disrespecting the wide receiver core. Man, I wish we could have drafted better. Well, first off, that's disrespecting the wide receiver core. It's also disrespecting the scouting department. There's nothing you could say. These are questions from the media that are designed to create stories and create narratives so that they can talk about it and make their money. That is why those questions come up. It's not because they're like, I really want to know what Eric DeCosta thinks about this wide receiver room. Everybody knows what Eric DeCosta thinks about this wide receiver room because they have eyes. The wide receiver room isn't that good. And, he finally said it. Took him 3 years to say it. And he's like, yeah, you know what? We should probably have some better wide receivers. In terms of draft, we've missed on a lot. That's not incorrect. He said the truth.
It definitely ain't.
And Rashod Bateman's upset, rightfully. But, overall, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that situation. Is there going to be a doghouse? There better not be. I'm telling you right now, John Harbaugh.
But you know what? You know what? I'll say this, and this is just a life tidbit. If someone doubts you, if someone tears you down in any type of way, form or fashion, if someone says that you can't do something, guess what? Go out there and prove it to them. So Rashod Bateman, James Prochet, Devin Duvernay, who we definitely believed could arguably be one of the best slot receivers in the league, because when we draft Devin and James Prochet, McConnell, what we said between both of these guys, they don't hit about 3 or 4 drops, combined in their college days. So we getting some guys with for sure hands. Go out there, show this league. This is y'all last year, especially James and Devin Duvernay. Take the league by storm. That's how you shut the doubters up. That's how you prove your EDC, your manager, wrong. Go out there and play the game. Y'all been putting in the work. Just let it translate to the field. I know it's easier said than done, but sometimes the man that outwork the other man, most of the time, comes out on top.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody listening on podcast platforms, anybody watching on YouTube, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below on this whole situation. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a review, 5 stars. We're giving away I don't want to repeat it, but also we want to help you guys out by, giving away a jersey. So we're giving away a jersey when we get those Apple Podcast reviews. But let us know your thoughts. We're super interested. Thank you all so much. And we'll see all of you again next time.